Let's move forward to some more techniques and activities for teaching speaking skills. In this regard, we'll first talk about discussions. Discussion is probably one of the most widely used activities within a typical language classroom, aiming at teaching speaking in second language or target language. We could see that these activities range from highly formal whole group activities to highly informal small group activities. In this regard, we can also see that typically students are introduced about a topic of discussion through a listening or reading exercise, or sometimes through a videotape. Then students are asked to get into groups, smaller or bigger as per the requirements of the activity, and they have to discuss the material and reach a conclusion as it is directed by the teacher or is the aim of the activity. There are certain steps which might be taken to formulate and execute a certain discussion activity. Firstly, we see the teacher may formulate planned groups or the pairing of the students, again as I said earlier, based on the need of the activity. This pairing or grouping of students is not easier because we have mixed ability students within a classroom. So a teacher has to be very careful here. There is no right way, generally it is said, of making groups within a speaking classroom. However, there could be certain considerations which could be kept in mind, sometimes based on cultural things or academic things. Gender may be important, ethnicity may be important, then their overall educational background and talkativeness. They all are very important. Because we could see in certain classrooms there could be students with a better level of proficiency, and there could be some students with a lower level of proficiency. They could be put together in the same group sometimes with the aim that the weak student might learn from the strong students. However, it would depend on the need and the idea of the teacher. Secondly, students are reminded that each participant in the activity has a role. There couldn't be any students which are left out, which have no role in the discussion or the overall activity. Every student which is participating in the discussion should be assigned a role in a clear-cut manner. These roles might include keeping time, taking notes, or reporting results. Finally, student needs to be clear that why this discussion is being done and how this would be carried on and what outcome is intended for the activity based on discussion. There are some popular forms of discussion. We have buzz groups, we have instant comment. Instant comment means first comment after looking at certain thing or listening to an idea. This could be very helpful in developing some informal communication abilities among students. Then formal debates, unplanned discussion, and reaching a consensus are the popular form of activities which could be employed here. Simulations and role plays are very important and very interesting as well. They employ a situation in which students usually stimulate a real life encounter. For example, they might be asked to develop a situation in which a business meeting is being conducted, or they might be asked to get into a discussion on a shop or on a cafeteria. Students in such activities take entirely different roles from their general character or general identity. So they might sometimes, especially in stimulations, they might take a different identity from their own in such activities. Such activities may help students in developing confidence within themselves. It also trains them for communication in specific situations. Students should be given enough information of a situation in which they have to play a role. If they do not know it already. If they're not familiar it with to an optimum level, they may be given the required information by the teacher. He may become a guide in this situation. Otherwise, students may be allowed to be as creative as possible, because this would help them building their own expressions and exploiting the language they know in the best possible way. There are some advantages of role plays and these stimulations. We could see it would be fun for students, and it has been seen that it's motivating for students many a time because they find it interesting. It also allows hesitant students to be more forthright in their discussions and in their opinions. It also provides students opportunity to use a wide range of language items, because it takes students away from the classroom situations and they bring in some real life situation. Therefore, it is expected that the use of language would be based on the variety of linguistic items. And therefore, it is also considered suitable for participating or practicing the socio-culture variation in speech acts within a language. And depending on the role of the activity and the level of students, there could be different roles which could be assigned to the students within a role play activity. And students or teachers may also decide that a role play may be performed through a script, which will definitely be provided by the teacher himself or herself. So students may not be asked, if their level is not that high, they may not be asked to develop their own script. Another interesting form of activities which may be generated in a speaking skills classroom is audio-taped oral dialogue journals. These journals are based on audio-taped material which is introduced in the classroom, and teacher guides the students to and provide them certain directions to make an assignment, a speaking assignment based on that audio tape. And in this regard, as I said a while ago, teacher may provide them clear-cut directions, and sometimes he may also suggest a topic. And then he would expect students to perform certain communicative activities based on that. This could be an excellent source, as it is considered by many researchers, for developing both fluency and accuracy among students.